One thing we can all agree on is that over the last few decades, the improvement in home music production tools has been nothing short of revolutionary. But there's a big question that remains unanswered. Why, as these production tools have become more inexpensive, more accessible, and a whole load better, has music seemingly got worse and worse? Now, that's a big question to answer. I'm going to do my best to do it in this video, but I'm sure I'm going to miss things out. This is where you come in. Let me know in the comments box below what you think about music today. Do you think it's production tools to blame? Maybe you think music's better than ever. I want to hear from you. Let me know in the comments box below. Okay, let's dive straight in. Straight off the bat, if you're struggling to get pro sounding productions from your home studio, I've got a free vocal EQ cheat sheet. Vocals are the most important thing to get right in your productions, and this cheat sheet will help you. Download it, print it off, or stick it on your desktop and use it next time you're mixing vocals. You can grab your free EQ cheat sheet just below this video. Let me take you back to the 1990s, where we all followed the chart system, which had all those big commercial pop acts that were generating a lot of revenue, looked after by the major labels. We also had the indie labels really prospering in the 90s, taking care of the new fledgling acts, as well as a lot of the bands that were around the scene at the time. And also we started seeing DIY acts, people doing it from the home studio, starting to come through and have chart success too. Fast forward to 2024, where we've got a two-tier music industry system. We've still got the majors generating an awful lot of revenue, looking after those big commercial pop acts and employing a lot of the same mixers, producers, recording studios and management. I mean, it's not that surprising that a lot of their acts sound the same. And then you've got the other side, everything else, where you will hear a lot more variation. You'll hear a lot of different production approaches, a lot of different mix approaches, and a much wider breadth of genre. But when it comes to getting the music out there, it has nowhere near as much financial clout as the majors. Which means when you're going around your daily business, consuming stuff on YouTube or Spotify or TV or radio or Netflix, you're going to be hearing music mostly from the majors that's been recorded in the same recording studio, often with the same producer, often with the same mixer. And if you're not keen on that super sterile, highly polished sound, you're going to start feeling like, where's all the good stuff? Without that chart system, it's a lot more challenging to get a breakthrough act, be it with an indie label or be it a DIY act, to get that level of eyeballs of exposure. Yes, we have all these wonderful marketing tools online, but it does feel a bit like everything's sitting in the same melting pot. And if the listener isn't actively engaging, going out there and wanting to check out new acts, they're going to hear a lot more of the other stuff. And that's going to make you feel pretty quickly that music's just got worse. But it's not all the major labels' fault. I mean, they've been around for years and years. What's going on with music production? I think the ability to edit and manipulate music like never before shoulders some of the responsibility. Take a look at these two albums. Here's Michael Bublé's Christmas album, and here's Bing Crosby's Christmas album, both of which I really like. But this album has been tuned and polished within an inch of its life. Take a look at the back and you'll see it's been produced and mixed mostly by Bob Rock and Chris Lord-Alge, those big major label guys. And then there's Bing Crosby's Christmas album, a beautiful collection of well-recorded songs. It sounds like Bing's in the room with you. It's very intimate. It makes you feel something. There's a real connection there. There's definitely no auto-tune. This is Bing singing from start to finish. Some beautiful orchestral arrangements. It's a cracking album that feels like Christmas. And because there's not been any mucking about with it, it feels soulful, it feels honest, and it makes a connection with you. Now, I really like this Michael Bublé Christmas album. He's a fantastic singer, and I think there's some great songs on it too. But there is no doubt in my mind whatsoever that the over-tinkering, the over-manipulation, and definitely the over vocal tuning kind of killed it. Although, I bet it made an absolute ton of money. Now, for us home studio producers, no one's got a gun to our head saying you've got to auto-tune this, you've got to edit this, you've got to manipulate this, you've got to tighten this up, but I do feel like there's some degree of pressure from those major label releases to use these tools to tighten up and seek for perfection in our music, and maybe we're going down the wrong road. Yes, things have got a lot easier to produce. It's super easy now to get a great drum sound on your recording, whereas back in the day, it could take days to get a decent drum sound, or maybe you wouldn't even at all. I didn't used to like miking up drum kits, used to drive me a bit mad, so I really enjoy using programs like Addictive Drums 2, where great sounding drums are right at your fingertips. But the problem there lies, if everybody's using the same drum programming, everything just starts to sound the same. And everything's starting to sound the same, it's going to start to feel like music's just getting worse, there's no innovation, and everything's sounding very beige. It's the same with vocal tuning, and it's the same with editing and manipulation of tracks. If everything's polished within an nth degree of its life, then everything's going to start sounding the same, everything's going to feel worse. So yes, we should absolutely look up to those leaders in our industry, the top producers and mixers like Bob Rock and CLA, but perhaps the responsibility lies with us to not follow them blindly down the path of over-perfecting and over-tuning everything we work on, and in turn that may well help our act or the acts that we're working with to stand out in the marketplace. But it's not just the production tools that we've got, it's also the number of tracks that we've got and the approach to recording, which is biased much more towards multi-tracking than of course it did back in the day than if you were just making a stereo recording. And I think it's there that we may well have lost some of the feeling and the energy in modern production. You get a good band in a room and you record them together, you're going to capture the feel and the character of that music. Ask the same band to record it multi-track sterilely, maybe getting the bass player to record it on one day and get the guitarist to come in another. Or maybe you're working with tracks where the band have simply dialed it all in from different areas of the globe. You are never going to get the same feel, energy and connection than you would do if you've got those band members performing in the same room. I would say if you stick around long enough, you'll start to see trends moving cyclically. You'll see the same thing repeating itself. So are we about to see a new trend of recording sounding more like they're coming from the 60s and 70s? Are we going to start to see more production trends going back to earlier decades, creating more real music and shying away more from editing and manipulation and tuning tools? It certainly does seem like the listening audience are crying out for it. I've noticed a big spike in the rise of attention of live music, so it could well be the same in recorded music, and if you want to stand out from the crowd, perhaps this is a great way to do so. As I said at the top of the video, I want to hear from you. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think of modern music and modern music production? Do you think it sounds great, or do you think it sounds awful and all sounds the same? Maybe you're an artist or a producer working right now. What are your practices? Do you feel like you're getting forced to have to over-perfect and tune music to keep your clients happy? I want to hear from you. Let me know in the comments box below. If you want to take your music productions from your home studio to a pro level, I've got a free 7-day all-access pass. This includes a course which focuses in on a musical analog approach to mixing music, very relevant to the video that I've been talking about today. You can check it all out for free right now. There's over $700 worth of home studio tuition there, over 10 hours for you to tuck into, as well as access to the home studio community group and monthly exclusive content. You can get that 7-day all-access pass for free just by clicking on the link below this video. Of course, don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you enjoyed this video today, you're definitely going to want to check this one out.